Hello and welcome. My name is Art Werner.
And I'm Anthony Rocca.
And we are at the studios of Werner Rocca Seminars for recording our course, Understanding the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act of 2017. Ladies and gentlemen, the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act of 2017 has passed and we are ready to opine. We're going to give you some information regarding the new law. We're going to give you observations on the law. We're going to talk about some obvious and maybe not so obvious planning opportunities that we see regarding this act. This is a 4-hour CPE class, and I will tell you, 4 hours is probably not enough time to really talk about everything in this act. This is a 1,100-page bill with commentary. Clearly 4 hours doesn't cover everything, but we are going to cover what we feel are the most important parts of this law. Is this a good tax act? Is it not a good tax act? And I will tell you, that's really not our concern. If you listen to the pundits in the media, I think you're going to find that one side is saying this is the best tax act that has ever been created in the history of the United States, and the other side is saying it is lousy. Is it either? Well, no, it's not the best act and it's not lousy. It's a tax act. What's it meant to do? It's meant to raise revenue for the federal government. It's meant to set some policy for us in a social manner. Does it work? We'll see. Will there be winners and losers? Obviously. Every tax act, there are people who will be benefiting, and every tax act there will be people who will not benefit. What is our job? Our job is to find out what makes our clients winners in this act and position them accordingly.
It's also to give you an understanding of what the new tax act includes and how that might impact you in planning with your clients in the future. Also, I'm sure you have received a number of requests from clients about the provisions of this act and how it impacts them. So this is an introduction to the act and those provisions, and we'll give you some instructions on how to properly plan under these new provisions.
You know, Tony, I think that you can say this. We have gotten calls already from individuals, practitioners, and quite frankly, individuals who are concerned. Does this new act actually do what it's supposed to do? What is it? How's it going to affect people? If we're starting to get calls already, can you imagine what practitioners are really going to go through? And especially if you're watching this presentation during busy season, I think that you're going to be amazed. You're trying to do all the compliance work for your clients. You're getting a lot of people who are concerned, anxious. Does their positions, are they affected? And I view this as a tremendous opportunity. The opportunity we have is that A, we're going to really make a good amount of money for us. We are going to be billing a lot because there's a lot of work here, but the work that we're going to be doing is real, that this is information that the client needs. I predict that this is going to be an extremely lucrative year for everybody. If we understand the law, we're here to help you understand it.
When it comes to the act, one of the things that was mentioned was this is tax simplification. One of the questions you'll ask yourself as we get through it is really whether this is truly simplification. Your clients are going to want to know what and how this impacts them, and we're ready to get through these PowerPoint slides.
You know, Tony, I think this is funny. 1,100 pages. Simplification? I think not. Will you be able to prepare your tax return on a postcard? I think you can, as long as the postcard is about 1.5 miles long. So, no, this is not simplification. And there are things in this law that are going to affect your clients positively and negatively. We're going to show you how to do that. Just a few little ground rules here. We are giving a 4-hour presentation. This is going to be broken into 2 segments. We're going to give you a break in the middle. We thought maybe we could put 2-hour presentations together, and we really can't because these are not standalone classes. You're going to have to look at the whole course itself. I don't want to break it into 2 segments, and so it'll be 4 hours. There will be a break in the middle. You have the ability through their moderator to ask questions during this presentation. Obviously, this is a video, but we are monitoring these. There are subject matter experts, could be Anthony and myself, who will be happy to answer questions, and we will provide you with contact information if you think that you need to speak to us after this presentation. sit back, enjoy, and let's go to our first PowerPoint slide. It's my introduction. Look, the Senate and the House representatives, they did pass compromise legislation. Anthony and I have been giving federal tax updates this year, and what we were doing, presenting during these presentations, we were trying to anticipate what the law was going to be. And the only way we could do that was by saying, here's what the House bill said, here's what the Senate bill says. At the time, there was no indication as to what bill would pass, if any. What we have learned is that the two have compromised. Now, if you have attended any of those classes, you're going to learn that I'm going to say about 80% of the compromise leads in favor of the Senate bill and not the House version. Rightfully so. The Senate is more closely divided. I believe it's like 52 to 48 or something in that nature in the amount of senators by party line. This was a party line vote. Like everything these days, it seems like one party can't agree with the other. And so this is essentially a Republican bill because there was no support from Democrats. The Senate being so close, they were a little more, I'm going to say, liberal in the way that they treated tax reform. The House was a little more aggressive. The aggressive pieces of the bill were kind of, I say, hemmed and honed a bit. And so it's mostly the Senate bill. There are some pieces of the House bill that are there. So if you've attended any lecture, either from us or other vendors that talked about both bills, look at the Senate bill. It's a little more closely aligned, but we're going to show you the exact issues here. The act is called the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act of 2017. We will be referring to it today as the Act.